Now it's time for Pound ATL.
Welcome to the show today, baby. This is your boy Jimbo Dean, a.k.a. Jimbo Slice, a.k.a. Jimmy O. Bum. And you can call me any one of those you want, Pound ATL Nation. But please don't call me no damn New Orleans Saints fan. This is Pound ATL. And for the second round, me and Mike Dub over there in hot Atlanta, Ground Zero is back. And boy, we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about this wide receiving core. We're going to talk about this power rank. Hey, we might sprinkle in a little top 100 in there because, boy, some people ain't that happy. Big Mike, what is up? How you doing over there in Atlanta today, baby?
Hey, man, like I said, this is every day is Christmas for us. You know, I'll say this. You know, we got the rookies in camp. You know, we got Julio, Grady Jarrett. We got Debo. We got the guys in the facility. So this is just the time if you're a Falcons fan, you've been following the Falcons for a long time. You know, shout out to our Pound for Pound family, man. Y'all been following the Falcons for a long time. A lot of knowledge in the comments. Keep that knowledge coming. But, you know, like I said, I think this is a week, man, where, you know, we just want to see the guys start the gelling process. So yes. COVID is starting to throw some wrinkles into a lot of the things that we're doing. And I think we already see it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think, you know, we got a lot of stuff to cover, man. So you just let me know, you know, how you feeling, man. First and foremost, before we go into everything, man, what's going on with you this week, big dog?
Hey, big dog, I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. I'm alive. I can see, I can walk, I can talk. I'm healthy. Family doing good. I am doing good. Hey, shout out to J.R. and Toby D. Last video, dropping dimes, dropping gems. Man, that Tuesday show be on fire over there with them old heads.
Check them out every Tuesday.
I just call y'all old heads, Toby D and JR. I just call y'all old heads. We're going to challenge y'all to something here sooner or later. Me and Mike going to put y'all on a challenge. It's going to be a pound for pound ATL challenge. And we're going to have to see who's going to win. But that's another story. But I got some breaking news, Big Mike, that hit down on Thursday, man. And I ain't feeling too good about it because I like this guy. I love this guy. Keith Smith. They just put him on that old COVID-19 IR that slash list. That list. Him and Carter went on that list, and Hawkins. Now, I'm finna come out, man. I'm finna say it. I really hope this ain't finna damper what we want as fans. And we're not being selfish over here at Pound for Pound ATL. But it's in our bloodline. It's in our DNA to see these Atlanta the Atlanta Falcons play. I'm sorry, Trey Young, my bad. But to see these Atlanta Falcons play, we got to have our Sunday. But COVID-19, you are not welcome, but you are starting to make your presence felt. And please, do not get off in that dirty south like that. Keith Smith, fullback. I did a video on him over there on our sister channel over there on Down Yonder Sports. He hit me back on Twitter. And for him to hit that COVID-19 list and be on our or whatever that list is, however they done made it up or brung it back up. But the breaking news, he has hit that list. Also Carter and Hawkins. But come on, Mike, man. Give me your thoughts on that, man, because I'm almost about tired already, brother. I'm almost about tired, man.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, COVID-19 is definitely making its presence felt. Not only is it making its presence felt, I think it's really going to put whatever the league's protocols that they put in place, it's going to put it to the test from day one.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
You know, I think shout out to the NBA. I would give the NBA credit.
The bubble.
I think putting them in a bubble was smart. I think outside of Lou Williams, shout out to Lou Williams and whatever fines he may have to pay. This is not a show about Lou Williams, but Lou Williams is from the ATL. He is an ATLian, but
in the wings.
And ATL got him in trouble. But at the end of the day, we're not here to talk about Lou Williams. You know, it's so much to unpack about this because Keith Smith and Todd Gurley really need to be gelling right now because from what I can tell, Todd Gurley just got into Atlanta. He just got into Atlanta maybe 2 or 3 days ago, right? So if I'm a tailback, the first thing I'm going to want to do is get in touch with my fullback as soon as I get in town.
Okay, let me hold you right there now.
Talk to me.
So if Keith Smith ain't around, where you go then, Mike? What's your alternate? What you gonna do then?
All right. Okay. Pound for pound ATL. This is where the comments get rolling. This is where you don't have to tell me here. You don't have to agree. You can disagree. Put them in the comments. But I think Mikey Daniels. I think you got to look at the undrafted free agent that we got from South Dakota State, because he plays tailback, plays fullback. I really think he'd be a strong enough blocker to really win the position if Keith Smith is to miss any significant time. One would hope. Keith Smith has to follow the 14 to 21 day league protocol, and he's able to come back at full strength. But I do think he is missing valuable reps right out of the bat. So I think, if you see a Mikey Daniels sneak over at fullback and, get some reps, at the end of the day, Dan Quinn is going to play the best guy. We know that. I think this is a year where everybody's job is on the line, so he has to play the best guy. But it's a really, really tough pill to swallow that we start camp, with Keith Smith on IR. I also, like I said, and I also saw a couple other guys. I mean, you've got Jamal Carter, you've got Jalen Hawkins. I mean, those are a lot of guys that we really are counting on to contribute, especially in the secondary. That's two of our backup safeties already on IR. That's tough. That's a lot of pressure. That puts a lot of pressure on a Sherrod Neesmith. That puts a lot of pressure on Keanu Neal to come back post ACL. So there are a lot of things to unpack, with the breaking news that you just stated, man.
I mean, strong breaking news, but I mean, they only got 14 contact practices where they full padded. 14 of them. And I think that number went down from 17 to 14, or it might have went up from 12 to 14. They only got 14 of them. Now I don't know if that half shell or full body. I don't know if that just helped. Okay, I'm sorry, pound for pound ATL Nation out there. Half shell is helmet and shoulder pads and shorts. Full dress, full battle rattle, as we like to call it in the United States Army. Full battle rattle is the pants with the knee pad, the thigh pad, all that good stuff, the cleats, everything, and it's full contact. And only person you're not taking to the ground is the quarterback. They only got 14 of those, but they haven't specifically came out and said if it's half shell or full battle. They came out and said that. But either way, it's going to be third or something. They got 14 of them. That's all the CBA wanted. The boys weren't really going for none of that down. Okay, but still, Mikey Daniels come over. You only got 14 chances really at full contact to really show that you can block for Tar Gurley. But by then, because that's going to be after August 7th, I want to say. I can't get that number. I don't know that number exactly just yet. Keith Smith might be back then. Before they get their full contact practice, Keith Smith, because it's all the way through half of August, the coaches can't even be on the field with the players, with some of the rookies and stuff. They can't even. So he might got time, Mike. He might got time. So, but I just hate that he already on there. I really don't like that. He missing some stuff. I hope they got that iPad to his house already or whatever else going on. But let's jump to the topic, man. We had to go ahead and get that out of the way. Keith Smith, speedy recovery, man. Do what you got to do. Don't go drink no hand sanitizer like some people told you to go do, or Clorox and then like that. Don't drink no bleach that they're going to do. But just get well, man. Let's get to the topics. And this show, Pound ATL, all my Atlanta Falcon Nation, all my Atlanta Falcon fans out there, DBN, Dirty Birds that have been around, we're talking about this wide receiver core because it's deep. It's super deep. And the head of the snake is the man, the Jet, Julio Jones. Let's get into this, Mike, because it's going to be some competition going on. I don't see some people on Instagram and on Twitter talking mad cash, cold cash, to some people that might think that he might not be who we think he's going to jump up and be. He's talking cold cash, and I got to give it to him because I like that competition. Now let me run down this roster of receivers we got, and they are all fast in my eyes. We got some undrafted. We got some. Well, we just pretty much undrafted because we didn't draft a receiver this year. So let's start at the top of the top. Let's start with the Jet himself. We got Julio Jones. He had 99 receptions last year, 1,394 yards. We got Kevin Ridley. He had 63 receptions last year, 86 yards. Russell Gage. Remember that? Russell Gage. Come back to you. Russell Gage, 49 receptions, 446 yards. Christian Blake, 11 receptions, 91 yards. Christian Blake. Coming back for you, boy. Hold yourself. I ain't gonna get no more stats, but I'm finna run down the list. We got Devin Gray. We got Jawan Green, undrafted free agent. We got Jalen McCleskey, undrafted free agent from Tulane. We got Brandon Powell. We got Chris Rowland, your boy, the rookie. Holla at me. Tennessee
Say Mighty
State.
Mouse.
Mighty Mouse. We got Laquon Treadwell. Oh, boy. Oh, whoa. And then we got Odomai Zacchaeus. University of Virginia. What's happening, big dog? You fast now?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Now, Mike. We got a lot of 1 and 2, right? Who you gonna say 1 and 2 is? Who 1 and 2? Give me your 1 and 2.
I mean, we got the Jet, the under-respected Jet,
Right.
which, let's not even go to 2 right now. Like,
okay. What you finna do now?
top 100, man. Top 100 is burning. It's burning. Like, name 11 players in the NFL that are better than Jet Jones. Seriously. Like, I mean, that require the attention. Well, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Pat Mahomes, all those guys. Listen, I mean, you can argue Pat Mahomes. He on another level. But that's overall position. But at the receiver position, what receiver demands the level of attention that Julio Jones does every week, right? What receiver is double and triple cover every week? What receiver can take the top off your defense? What receiver has run a 4.3 at his combine with a broken foot? I don't think other teams have that gear. We have our own gear with the Jet. And at the end of the day, I don't like disrespect to Julio Jones because Julio Jones goes about his business. I mean, again, we are so spoiled as Atlanta Falcons fans to have a non-diva, Julio Jones. I always say that. And that trickles down. All of the receivers understand who the elite of the elite is. Dirk Cutter said it best in his interview the other day. He said Julio Jones is the elite of the elite. But what he alluded to, let's go on to 2 and 3, is that Russell Gage and Calvin Ridley, they've got some growing to do. And I like both of their ceilings at different levels. Calvin Ridley, he has the ability, again, I always say it on every show, to be Reggie Wayne good. Because if you look at how smooth he is in and out of his breaks, Calvin Ridley is the type of receiver that I really think if he just exploded for like 12, 13 touchdowns, I don't really think you'd be surprised because he's just that good, But at the end of the day, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay in the weight room. He's a bit of a twitchy receiver, which sometimes, opens him up to those pull hamstrings every now and then. But I think with having a Russell Gage there and, like I said, well, hold on, before we go to, because I want to go down to Treadwell, but, we can focus on Treadwell for a second. But I noticed you looped Gage and Ridley together. What's kind of your reasoning for looping those guys together as 2 and 3? Do you think that Russell Gage could potentially be the 3 over Laquon Treadwell, even though Laquon Treadwell is 6'2", 215 with, NFL starting experience? What's your thought?
Okay, hold on, Mike. Because I'm finna disagree with you, real. Let me take a sip, okay? Because I'm finna disagree with you.
Talk to me.
That was good. Now, Gage ain't even my number 3. Okay, pound for pound ATL, listen to me. Gage ain't my number 3. Guess who my number 3 is? Christian Blake.
Whoa.
Now, Gage, I hear you. I see you on Twitter, Russell Gage, and I hope this motivation for you. I really hope it is. Now, I see you on Twitter dropping them Twitter bombs. I think Christian Blake is by, and that's gonna be another question we're gonna get to. But I'm putting Christian Blake at my 3. Calvin really is too. Okay, let's just go ahead and put that down. Calvin really with 63 receptions last year, 866 yards. I don't even want to get on the touchdown. Calvin Ridley is 2. Jet is 1. But Christian Blake is going to show out. And you heard it here on Pound for Pound ATL. First, Christian Blake is going to show up and show out. I went back and watched that film on him when we lost to the Saints. And boy, man, he sent Lattimore to the locker room. Lattimore even tried to fight him. You tried to fight. You're going to fight. You don't want to fight Julio Jones, but you're going to try to fight Christian Blake, which tell me one thing. Christian Blake was in that mind. And when you get a chance, Pound ATL Nation out there, go out there and watch that game. Christian Blake was eating him. Give me your lunch. I want some lunch money up out you, Lattimore. But you don't want to fight Julio Jones, though. You want to try to get it. Why? Go watch it. You want to try to get in the fight with Christian Blake. Christian Blake took major steps by the end of that season. By the time we got to the New Orleans Saints, Christian Blake was looking good. Christian Blake, you my 3. Gage, you my 4. Or you know what, Gage, you my 3.5. How about that? You're going to be my 3.5. I like that. I can take that one. Okay. But hey, if you see it, Gage, show me up on it. But you finna have to go at it at training camp. Now switching subject, the training camp. I want to ask you about somebody because he's gonna have to do something in training camp and in the season. Because you got to make it out of training camp there, bud.
Right.
Laquon Treadwell. Okay. Played in 13 games for the Vikings last year. 9 receptions. Only 16 targets. 184 yards. 1 touchdown. He averaged 20.4 yards a catch. But he had 64 yards after the catch. A little yak. Boy, 6'2", 214 pounds, born and raised in Chicago, out of the College of Ole Miss. This is 5th season, going into his 5th season of the league, Mike. Now, what you give me your expectations on Laquon Treadwell. Treadwell? Okay. Give me your expectation for him camp in the season. Because there's 2 different sides of that coin. Got to make it out of camp. And if he do, what are you going to do in the season? Give me your expectation for him, Big Mike.
I like the way you set up Treadwell because, you know, a lot of fans just think that Treadwell is going to come in and he's going to be the number 3 receiver. You know, you could argue that he could come in and he beats the number 3 receiver. Doesn't really surprise a lot of Falcons fans, right? But
right.
I think, like you said, 6'2", 215. And if you look at the way this offense lines up, it looks a lot like the offense he played in last year for the Vikings. Because if you look at, you know, Julio Jones and Thielen, big drop off. But again, if you look at the type of receivers he played with, you know, a Thielen, a Diggs, you know, you kind of got a Julio Jones, a Ridley. You know, you got it matches up. Got a good tight end. They got Rudolph. We got Hayden Hurst.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, good tight ends, right? So
Yes,
I think at the end of the day, our expectations for him are really to okay. Let's take a step back. My expectations for Laquon Treadwell, I would probably say about 4 or 5 touchdowns potentially, because his frame, 6'2", 215, is not a frame that we have. Like, we got a lot of jitterbug receivers. We got Calvin Ridley, we got Gage, we got Blake. And again, you need those guys to get in the open space and get touchdowns for you. But from a possession receiver standpoint, we're going to have to depend on him. We're going to need for him to be able to take that necessary step. But again, a bad training camp from him, it could potentially push him down to 5th receiver. Or, again, we haven't really explored this scenario, but potentially cut. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it would be extreme to cut a Laquon Treadwell because there's still a lot of tread left on the tire, a lot of talent left. And I think he feels like, Kirk Cousins didn't really look his way. So if Matt Ryan has the potential to make this guy a standout. I think he could potentially. I won't necessarily say will. He could have the same potential as a Muhammad Sanu, you know, just because he has the frame, he's got a willingness to block, and he's a tough guy. So Treadwell, you know, I'm probably not as hard on him because I really think that he's a lot smoother. Because I mean, come on, guys, put his highlight tape on from Ole Miss, and you'll see a guy that potentially could have been one of the most dominant NFL receivers ever. But a lot of times that doesn't always translate. So if his game is able to truly translate over into our offense, you know, and Dirk Cutter is able to kind of find different ways to use him, I mean, Laquon Treadwell could have a 4 or 5 touchdown year. I think realistically.
I'm kind of I'm not gonna disagree with you on that one. I'm kind of on the same page with you on that one. And I like that you brought up Dirk Cutter. I ain't finna go there. That's a whole nother show. But it almost kind of depends on what Dirk gonna do, man. And I know Matt Ryan can change some plays and stuff, but boy, it might depend on how Dirk want to handle this. Okay. Right. So, I mean, Chris Rowland, all of my kids, these guys is going to fit. Brandon Powell, I don't know, Devin Gray. But y'all going to have a camp like no other from another. You hear me? You ain't got no preseason games. Right. So, I really don't. Boy, I don't know. Chris Rowland, you're going to make it special teams. You're going to be that jitterbug screen like Mike alluded in the last show. You got some, but man, kids, get on that high horse, boy. And you better get on it and you better ride. I mean, you better start riding right now. You better be off up in there running routes in the conference room when y'all having team meetings. And whenever Dan Quinn say something, just jump up out your seat and run a post. You got to start right now because it's not going to take long. And right. I already got Christian Blake as my 3. It's not going to take long. So are we talking about this whole wide receiving core? Let's hit the team all together. Third down conversion, wide receivers and tight ends got a lot to do with this scenario. Last year, we was 87 for 207 on. We was 87. Let me get that right now. We was 87 for 207 on third down conversion. Got to change. Man, that got to. Hold on, man. I don't really know math that well. You know what I mean? My math ain't that good. But that don't look too good to me. Third down conversions at least got to be over 100. In my eyes, I think. We had 6,075 yards total as an offense last year. And only 4,714 of them yards was passing. Wait, not only. I ain't going to say only. Because that's majority of the yards. Rushing game was in my yayo.
Right.
Go back to Dirk Cutter again. There we go. We had 29 passing touchdowns. Shout out, man. Matt Sharp had a couple of those. 684 completions. Now, we got to find a way to spread this ball out. Now, we got Hayden Hurst in the building. Laquon Treadwell, you got to make the team. Odomaster Kids. Christian Blake. We got to find a way to spread the ball out. We only had so many receivers score a touchdown last year. We had Julio Jones, of course, Kevin Ridley, Gage, Sanu, who is now with the Patriots, and all of my kids. Them the only receivers that scored a touchdown for us last year. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Mike, because this is, maybe we might miss this guy. Because now that I'm talking about all the receivers, and, did we miss kind of one of your favorite players, too? Will we miss a Justin Hardy? Will we? I know we're going to miss him on special team. But for just receiving core, now, because we talking about receivers, will we miss a Justin Hardy? Let me know.
Well, I mean, I think, again, you miss a Justin Hardy almost like you miss a Eric Wing, just on special teams. That's where they stood out at. I think Justin Hardy over the years made good catches. I think he showed some sticky hands in a lot of clutch situations. But I think skill set wise, you alluded to it. Like I said, you think he's a number 3. I think he's more of a number 5. But at the end of the day, I like Blake. I like Blake to actually make the team. Right. And I really think that Zacchaeus, true enough, I call him Mr. 93 because, he had the 93-yard touchdown. He did. The ability is there. Don't get me wrong. On a deep route, he's really good on a deep route. He's really good at getting the ball. But I think there's so much talent for that 4th and 5th receiver position spot just because you got guys that can, play deep. I think Devin, I think, like you said, even the Devin Gray, those guys towards the bottom, Jitterbug, Mr. Mighty Mouse, Rowland. I think I just think that there's so much, there's so many gadgets that we can use, this season. So I look for our receiving core to be a strength just in different ways because, again, we got different skill sets. I mean, the Jet, we know what the Jet's going to do. Ridley, we know what Ridley's going to do. I think it's really up to Gage. It's up to Treadwell. It's up to Blake. It's up to all of those guys just, up and down, like I said, those practice squad guys. Who's hungry? Because if I'm a practice squad guy and I know that there's no preseason games, every day is a game. Every day is a game for me. Every day is a game, right? So because every day is a game, it's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys that's going to be working harder in training camp. And I think, that's another thing. I think that translates over to the veterans as well. You got an undrafted free agent. He's trying to make the team. Isaiah Oliver, this is a big camp for you because you really don't want a McCleskey or those guys. You don't want to see the back of their jersey because if you do, we could be in for a long season because then we would just be completely and solely hoping that AJ Terrell is going to be our saving grace. And at that point, we might need to start looking towards drafting early next year.
Yeah, but it's speculative that I don't want to do that. Okay. Hey, shout out to Caleb McGarry, man. I gave all these stats on the receivers last year. Hey, my boy Caleb McGarry had 1 catch for a -3 yards. I remember that game. He caught it. They tackled him to the ground. Shout out to Caleb McGarry, man. Matt Ryan's just spread the ball around like peanut butter, don't he? I think it hit off somebody's back, though, Mike. I think it deflected off somebody's back. He caught it. It was a long game. La-da-da-da-da. You understand me? Okay, whatever. Okay, now you done went through that, and you kind of threw Gage, and we started getting these boys like intertwined after 1 and 2. They started intertwined together like yarn. Okay, do you think Gage and Blake. I want to know about both of them. You think either one of them gonna make a jump next year? Because I think Blake gonna make a jump next year. Gage preaching on social media.
Right.
Do you
Well,
think Gage? Go ahead.
well, here's my thing. I think you're higher on Blake. I would say that I'm probably higher on Gage just
Okay.
because I think that Gage has shown the ability to catch the ball on those, those slant routes. And I think he's just always been a gritty competitor. He's a guy that honestly you kind of worry about the way he plays the game because he kind of plays with such a reckless abandon. And he's such a high energy guy that sometimes he does get hurt. His style of play could potentially, get him into, just because he gets the ball and he'll take on a linebacker if he has to, but he's a speed guy. I think at the end of the day, he came from LSU. I thought that when we drafted him, a couple of rounds after where he should have been drafted. I think he never really put together full seasons, but the ability was there. I think if you look at his college career, it's similar to maybe like a Mecole Hardman. They made lots of plays, but I think in the NFL is where they can be, their best players. Like Pat Mahomes made Mecole Hardman a star last year, right? And I think that Russell Gage, given the opportunities, could make a lot more catches this year than people are giving him credit for. It's just my two.
Okay, well, you're a Gage guy. I'm a Blake guy. Y'all better not, because me and Mike finna put a wage on that. We're going to have to bet on that, Big Mike. And Blake, don't make me look bad, okay? I'm in your corner, big dog, okay? Just like I'm in Mike Tyson corner against Roy Jones Jr. I'm in your corner. Mike is in Gage corner. If you want to shoot at somebody, Blake, I meant to say, Gage, shoot at him. Because I'm in Blake corner. Blake, you shoot at him. Gage, you can holler at me. I'm on the corner with my arm crossed, sipping on a little yike. All right, let's get into something, man. Because the Twitter handle was riding out. Social media been riding out about this. Because we just finna go ahead and jump on the top 100, and we finna intertwine that power rank. Now let's just do this. Let's do power ranking first, because the players is on that team that is ranked in that top one in that power ranking. So the Bleacher Report, right, got the Atlanta Falcons at 18. All right. ESPN got them at 17. What we still, I don't agree with that one on. Anyway, I'm a Falcon fan. I can be biased. That's my choice. Okay. But Bleacher Report, don't put Arizona Cardinals at 17 above the Atlanta Falcons. Don't do that. Don't put the Buffalo Bills at number 6. Are you crazy? Josh Allen at number 6. Are you crazy? Don't put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who ain't even jailed yet because of COVID-19, don't put them at number 8. And please do not, Jimbo Slice, a.k.a. Jimmy Obama, don't call me no New Orleans Saints fan. Don't put them at number 3. I can understand the Chiefs at number 1. I can understand that. But don't put no damn Buffalo Bills or no Arizona Cardinals above the Atlanta Falcons. And like I say, I'm speaking from an Atlanta Falcons standpoint, pound for pound ATL. That's what I'm doing. But I do not see no Arizona Cardinals ahead of us. Now, on ESPN, they got the Saints at number 4, and they got Tampa Bay at number 7. They got Buffalo at number 11. Now, ESPN actually got it right. They put the Cardinals after us at 19. They actually got it right. Shout out to them people over there working at ESPN, Walt Disney, them. Y'all doing a great job. Good job for y'all. But that's still too close for the Arizona Cardinals to be at 19. One ahead, one behind. It don't matter. That's too close. Mike, give me your thoughts on us being at number 18. It seems like year after year, we're right there in the middle, 16, 17,
right.
18. Eh?
Right. But
What's going on?
To look at the ranking, 18 is not ideal, but I think it's really a reflection of the defense. I think they feel like the defense, just the kind of defense we put out proverbially, that puts us kind of middle of the road. I would say we're probably closer to 10 to 12, just because I just think that, like you said, with COVID, with these guys, just a more rested Todd Gurley, just, be honest with you, because he did more personal training than he did, OTAs, all of those other activities that, like I said, could put himself at risk. I think a lot of that will really play into our favor, because I just think Dan Quinn has already said Todd Gurley's looking good, moving around good. And I think that's just a good sign for for Falcons fans. But ultimately, on paper, we haven't done anything yet. So to be honest with you, I would say I would put us closer to 10 with the potential to move up, because I think that Matt Ryan is really in store for, I believe, another career year. Because, I mean, his focus just seems to be where it needs to be. It seems like he did a lot of stuff on his own to make sure the team was prepping and prepared. And I think this is a time where the leaders will definitely have to lead, because, the teams that are veteran led, I think, are teams that will probably get out to good starts. But, if it's a team where you got a young quarterback, COVID kind of throw a wrench in everything where, your young quarterback may not be holding you as accountable as he needs to be. I don't know. That's an unknown. Those are the type of things that I think it's as much of a psychological year for the Falcons as it is a physical year. So the best psychological team wins. The strongest team wins, but it's got to be both. You can't just get it one way or another. And hey, man, looking at Grady Jarrett when he walked through the door, man, he looked chiseled. He looked ready to roll. He looked like he's in for another good year.
Grady Jarrett, you look like you could be on the strongest man in the world show. That competition there, man. God. You've been lifting weights, so boy. You better. All right now. And okay, Mike, with that power ranking, you started off saying maybe they put us at that like that because of the defense. And then one of the comments on one of the analysts with this placement of 18, that's the first thing he started off with. He said the Falcons have been ranked in the bottom half of the defense and defenses in the league for the last 3 out of 4 years. And he went on to say that they got a very, 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 very young secondary. And everything is going to be on Matt Ryan's shoulder and company. And I quote, to pick up the slack. So I'm thinking they just basing this whole power ranking thing just solely off the defense, right? So with that being said, I'm going to jump over to somebody that's on that defense that made the top 100. And I'm going to say that because I've been to ride out just then. I almost got fired up. Excuse me, pound ATL. I'm going to calm down a little bit. I almost got fired up just then. My bad, Mike. My bad. All right. Top 100. We got Grady Jarrett in the top 100 coming in at number 91. Sweet Jesus. Hold your horses down. Julio Jones. I guess they just looked at his jersey number and said, just give him that. And a lot of ESPN people, a lot of sports people out there just do not agree with it. And for sure, me, Mike, JR, and Toby D do not agree with it. Holla at me. And all the Atlanta Falcons content creators out there, everybody out there do not agree with that. You just gave me his number because you got tired. And Deion Jones, as of now, as of Thursday, Deion Jones and Matt Ryan, as of Wednesday, I'm sorry. Deion Jones and Matt Ryan ain't even hit the list yet. Y'all got to be kidding me. All right, Mike. Because I got close. How you feel about this whole ordeal, man? Tell me how you feel about it.
Like I said, man, I mean, I look at the list, right? Like I took note of the list, right? I got you got number 43. At number 43, you got Jimmy Garoppolo, who handed the ball off to Raheem Mostert to hand his team offensively to go to the Super Bowl, right? That Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. Okay. Dak Prescott. Again, Dak, I'm not going to talk about your money on this show because this is not a show to talk about your money.
It ain't.
It's a Falcon show. Right. Kirk Cousins.
Oh, boy.
Now Tannehill, I like Tannehill. Tannehill had a decent year, but Kyler Murray, shaky, but not to have Matt Ryan in the top 100, I think is it's just a travesty to the people who have time to pick, these positions and the rankings and stuff like that. I guess players pick it, but if the players, y'all don't respect Matt Ryan, okay, we'll take that. But I think there's not many quarterbacks who have done more with less than Matt Ryan. I think those players either were the ones tackling him, or they didn't, or they knew from the film that a lot of times the offensive line put him in those situations where he wasn't able to throw as comfortable in the pocket. If you look at Tom Brady's, a lot of his film, he had a lot more time. Now, but that's another, like I said, that's another conversation. But I think if you look at Matt Ryan, I would say he's better than most of those quarterbacks that we've named. Now
Kirk
I'd say
Cousins.
Tannehill. Yeah, I mean, like Tannehill had a career year. I would say if we went solely off of last season, Tannehill took a team without really true receivers, and he had a horse at running back, and he took the Titans to places that they haven't seen in a long time in Nashville. But a lot of these other quarterbacks stop the Matt Ryan disrespect. Really stop the Julio Jones disrespect. Because I think you look at how long these guys have been doing it, and you look at the way they consistently get results. It's like, think about it, man. Think about if we're a corporation and they're in our sales organization. What would we think about those guys every quarter? We think that they deliver every quarter, especially Julio Jones. Julio Jones, he gets you that extra every quarter. So, that's my thoughts, man.
Yeah. We ain't finna go in there too much long because they tripping hard. Whatever y'all doing over there, cut it out. If y'all having, I don't know if what kind of drugs or something, cut it out, okay? All right. Man, rolling through this show talking about these Falcons, you lose track of time. You got to understand that because this is an exciting time of the year right now. So let's move on with what we just came off of, and we finna jump into closing thoughts. And like I always say, me, Mike, J.R., Toby D, Pound for Pound ATL Nation, we all got our own opinions, and we like to express them. But we Atlanta Falcon fans, dirty birds for life, and we are not going anywhere. So let's get into these closing thoughts, Big Mike, and I'm going to start it off. I'm a caveat, and I'm going to just smooth on off the back of what you just said, because ain't nothing slick to a can of oil, okay? And I want to go straight to this top 100. You got to understand me. Players are voting for this. Players that don't really even play are voting for this. Okay, you made the roster. They seeing you a survey, and you start making your votes, and you ain't even played against a Julio Jones. You ain't even played against a Grady Jarrett. You ain't even played against a Matt Ryan or Deion Jones. You ain't even played against them people. Only thing you doing is picking off of what you don't sit on the sideline and watch. If we gonna do that, we might as well give it to the cheerleaders and let them vote. Let me do this. If an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a head coach start making this top 100 list, then I will respect that list. But until then, I'm not going to respect that list. And like Mike said, we don't really talk about money. But if your base salary is $750,000 and you standing on the sideline putting water in Julio Jones' mouth, you don't need to be voting for nothing. Okay? You are a fan just like me until somebody get hurt, but you get to vote in the top 100. Once a defensive coordinator, NFL, Roger Goodell, listen to me. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach is the one that got to prepare against Julio Jones. That defensive coordinator for the Saints, he need to be voting for the top 100. He got to prepare for Julio Jones every week. He know who he is. And I guarantee you, the Saints defensive coordinator would not put Julio Jones at number 11. I can bet every last dollar in my pocket on that. And that's my closing thought because I'm finna get fired up and I'm done. Okay? Run that thing, Big Mike. Give them a closing thought, man.
Hey, I love it because you're right though. I think Matt Ryan's body of work kind of speaks for itself every year. I mean, true enough, he does make some questionable decisions sometimes, but overall, if you take the good with the bad, I'll take the good every day of the week, right? But my closing thoughts are more for a guy that we were hard on way back in April, but I think that he has come to camp with a mentality that I like, because it's unlike him, and that's Mr. Takk McKinley. Let me tell you something. Takk is down 20 pounds, so he got off social media. No interacting with the fans, no whatever, no real interaction with Takk McKinley this offseason, and I like that. And I think a focused Takk McKinley down 20 pounds gives us a chance at the pass rush with Dante Fowler. Because ultimately, hey, if we really want to, we can talk about Charles Harris, because I saw in the comments last week, they were like, hey, we got Charles Harris. We got other guys and Stephen Means, which, hey, at the end of the day, Stephen Means, hey, if you come back from that ACL and you still got something left in the tank, we would love to do a show about you. But we got to hear about your progress a little bit, But back to Tack though. I think Tack seems like he's taking the offseason serious. He looks good. I saw him walking into the camp. You could tell that the 20 pounds that he's lost is not bad weight. Hopefully that equates to more burst on the field. Hopefully that equates to more sacks. And hopefully that equates maybe a more humble, quiet Tack might serve long term. He might say, hey, this is my last year with the Falcons. I actually may want to be around with the Falcons longer than people realize, because at the end of the day, it's hard to read a Tack McKinley. You might think that he wants to go play somewhere else. Sometimes you think his mind literally is in California, but I think ultimately a passionate Tack McKinley for this type of season that we have right here, a healthy Tack McKinley, a focused Tack McKinley, that bodes well for us as Falcons fans, specifically the defense. And I think that could be a differentiator as we move forward in the season. So watch Tack McKinley over the next couple of weeks, months, and as we kind of trudge on into the season. So I'm not going to be hard on you, Tack McKinley, because you lost 20 pounds, but we will be watching you just to see where you go and where you grow.
Where you go. All right, we watching you, and Mike definitely watching you. That's your second time Tack hitting that boy Closing Thoughts. Oh man, great show, Mike. This is Pound for Pound ATL. Thank y'all, and I welcome that love y'all gave us from the last show. Salute.
Appreciate it. Yes,
Do
sir.
it again. Watch this show to the end. Do it again. I love it. We will be back off up in your living room here come next week. Next Saturday, we'll be back off up in there. But this is Pound for Pound ATL on your boy Jimbo Dean, aka Jimbo Slice, aka Jimmy Obama. And you can call me any one of those you want, but please don't call me no damn New Orleans Saints fan. That's my co-host, Big Mike. That's one of the best hosts in the nation, Big Mike in ATL. And we are about to roll out. We'll catch y'all next week. You can catch me at Jimmy Obama on Twitter. You can catch Mike at Mike Dub, MIKE_DUB. You can catch him on Twitter. And shout out to Toby D. Shout out to JR. Hey, thanks for showing love. This is Pound for Pound ATL. See y'all next show. Adios.